we drove to Florida and back, and I'm located vaguely in the Philly area. I don't want to give too much away, but that's a fucking long ass drive.
Yeah.
So a lot of shenanigans and shit happened on the way up and the way down. And my favorite was...
Wait, where were you in Florida again?
Destin, Florida, which is on the Panhandle.
Okay.
So it's like... It's not really like far down in Florida.
Right.
It's at
just like
the
west.
Yeah, the west, like real thin part at the top. Like it's right in there. It's fuck, what's it? Destin's like right between Panama City and something else. What's on the other side? Fuck, I can't remember. But we were driving back, and we were going through Virginia. So we're driving through Virginia, and it's like 2 a.m. We've still got like 15 hours of driving ahead of us. It's pitch black, and there's no other cars on the road. So that shit was super boring. Like, nothing to look at.
Yeah.
Half of the people in the car are asleep. And nothing interesting is happening on the road. So, whatever. We pass by a sign that's like, next exit is Roanoke. And...
Wait. Don't tell me. Yeah, I don't know. What state is that?
Huh?
What state is Roanoke?
Virginia.
I was trying to quiz myself.
Oh, it's
okay.
Yeah, Virginia. And it was like...
I know it's like one of the colonies or some shit.
Yeah, it was, yeah. But it was in Virginia, and there was a highway sign that was like, next exit, Roanoke. And my dad was driving, and he just went, now that place is like definitely haunted. So then we were talking about that, and my brother's like, why is that? Because I guess he didn't remember being taught about it in school or something. And my dad was like, yeah, Roanoke, Virginia.
I don't know shit about history.
Oh, it was basically like, I think it was England tried to set up like one of their first fucking colonies in America there.
Yeah, I know that. I know it's like a colony. But...
So, okay.
Oh, is that the one that like everybody just fucking went missing?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's that one where they're like, oh, the lost colony of Roanoke. Like,
yeah,
booga, booga. Like, he was like, oh, yeah, well, so, they set this thing up, and then the dude that was in charge went back to England to go get food, and when he came back, everyone was fucking gone. And they had no idea. And I was like, well, no, they had like some ideas. And he's like, what do you mean? It's like, so I was like, no, I think I heard some shit at some point about like, no, they went and, they went to the Croatoans or whatever that were nearby, and however that played out, I don't remember. So he's like, all right, well, fuck it, Google it. Let's see. We got nothing else going on. So I was like, all right, fine. So I'm Googling it, and I found out that one of the dudes that was in charge of it was a total fucking Sigma male.
Ooh.
This dude is the fucking best just to read about. So I'm a little upset because I remember hearing his name in school, but not that he was anywhere near this hilarious and interesting.
What's his name?
Sir Walter Raleigh.
Oh, I remember that name.
Yeah, this dude is fucking awesome. I love this guy. So check this out. I want this to be a sort of recurring bit because I know there are a couple people that we could do this for, where it's like just talking about this person historically and all of the stupid shenanigans they got up to. And I'd like
what was the last guy's name?
Jean-Claude Romand.
Yeah, that's it.
That dude's a fucking trip. I will either I'll get Joey on to talk about it. That dude's fucking insane too. But this guy did some crazy shit as well. So Sir Walter Raleigh, let me set it up real quick. Basically, he fights for England in some war in France over religion or some shit. I didn't really look into that part. He gains some kind of renown, becomes friends with the Queen, and becomes like a knight. I think he's knighted and given land. And they basically give him the right to go colonize the New World. So he sets off and lands in Roanoke, Virginia, which it wasn't called that at the time. He established it. He fucking drops the colony there, then decides to go back and basically get a bunch of food or whatever. So he goes back to get supplies, comes back, everyone is fucking gone. he looks around and isn't entirely certain where the fuck everyone went. He has some clues, but he's not sure. So he goes back to England, tells them what happened, and goes, "Don't worry, I'll go back and find them." So he schedules another trip back to the New World to go find all of the missing colonists. What he didn't tell them was that he had no intention of looking for the colonists even a little bit. He did not give a single fuck.
Oh.
He was actually going back to the New World to look for El Dorado.
Okay.
So he goes back to Virginia to look for the lost city of gold.
God.
So he goes back, doesn't find it, goes, huh.
In Virginia?
Yeah.
Isn't that like fucking
vaguely that
South
area.
America?
Yeah, I'm in vaguely that area.
Okay.
Because, they're not going to be tracking his every move. He's on the other side of the fucking planet, and also it's the early 1600s.
Right.
So he doesn't find El Dorado, unsurprisingly, goes back and goes, yeah, I couldn't find any of them. So they're like, okay, so they're all dead. And he goes, well, no, they're not dead. I didn't find their bodies either. They're still alive. And they go, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean they're alive? You can't find any of them? The whole fucking place has just been abandoned? They're clearly dead. And, he's insisting that they're alive because apparently somewhere in the agreement that he had that entitled him to colonize Virginia, if all of his colonists are dead, he no longer has that right. So he's just like, fuck it. No, some of them are still alive. Here, I'll go back and I'll look some more. Okay. I'll definitely go find them this time. So then he goes back to the New World again. And then, basically right before he left, and this part, I was reading it off the Wikipedia and it straight up seemed made up until I looked into it even harder. Right, I think it was right before he left, the price, the price of sassafras on the market fucking exploded. That shit became super valuable.
Okay.
And I was like, sassafras definitely sounds like some made up shit. Hold on, what is that? So I went and looked at that, and it's like, oh, it's some herb that you use to season things, mainly root beer, essentially.
Oh, okay.
So it's this plant.
Like that taste. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this plant that grows basically around the area that he wanted to go to look for his colonists, but the price of it just popped off, and he basically went down and just used looking for the colonists again as some bullshit excuse to go harvest a bunch of sassafras. So he goes down, harvests a bunch of it, goes, I can't find them, they're still gone, whatever, and then goes back to England to sell all of it. So this dude lost his entire colony and then lied to everyone twice that he was going to find them when he was really just trying to make money. This dude did not rest on the grind set even a little bit.
I respect that.
Dude,
I do.
It's fucking... I love it. So then he gets implicated in a coup attempt against the King of England. They find credible evidence that he was trying to overthrow the king and he was conspiring against him. So they throw his ass in jail for 10 years. And then at this point, I believe in that 10 years, I think it was the Spanish Armada thing happened, where England just fucking destroyed Spain's whole fleet and just kind of took them out of global relevancy. But then they ended up signing some kind of peace treaty. So then 10 years after... Wait, hold on. Did I fuck this up? Did I fuck up the order of events? I don't think so. No. Okay, I realized I forgot something, though. This was actually his second time in prison. This was his second time in prison, was after the coup attempt. The first time was before he had gone to Virginia the first time. I think it was he had married one of the queen's female assistants or something, without her permission and like got thrown in jail for a year or something. So this is now the second time he's been to jail too. So he gets thrown in jail the second time. Around 10 years pass, and England has this like treaty with Spain. They go, like, England, the king goes to Raleigh and goes, hey dude, or Raleigh, sorry. They go to him and say, hey, we want you to go find El Dorado. We're going to let you go like on one more expedition to try to find it because you're the foremost expert on it for some reason. And he's like, all right, fuck it, bet, let's go. So then this time he starts heading further south than Virginia, like, because clearly that if it did exist, that's where it would be. It's like South America, not Virginia.
Right.
And I believe it was around Cuba. Around the time he got to Cuba, his crew decided it would be a good idea to do a little bit of trolling. His crew decided, let's get up to some shenanigans. And they decided to start doing some piracy on some Spanish outposts that were in Cuba. So they raid a bunch of Spanish outposts. And Spain isn't really happy about that, considering that completely voids their whole peace treaty thing. Like, their whole peace treaty was like, hey, you can't have your pirates go and fucking take our shit anymore. And England had, like, zero deniability because they had actually sanctioned his trip there in the first place.
Right.
So they were like, well, okay, you sent him down there to go find some bullshit city of gold that maybe doesn't exist, and he ended up stealing all our shit. What is that about? So he comes back again unsuccessful from finding El Dorado. And he just goes, yeah, sorry, my bad. And they're like, all right, we're going to have to give you the death penalty for that one, bud. So, yeah, they fucking killed him after that one because they're like, well, we got to make good with Spain now because you fucking pissed them off for no reason. So thanks for that, guy. So they ended up decapitating him there. And then I gotta see if I can find it because there was some funny shit that someone at the thing said. Like what is it? Like, there were a bunch of funny quotes from the day he was being executed, which was funny. Oh, here we go. So this dude, absolute Sigma male. He is, he's about to get executed. They're about to just straight up decapitate him, like dude with an axe on a wooden block type deal. So this absolute Sigma male goes up to get executed. He walks up to the executioner and he says, let us dispatch. He's like, yeah, fucking get on with it, bitch. Let's do it.
Damn. I like it. So then he keeps going. He says, at this hour, my egg comes upon me. I would not have my enemies think I quaked from fear. So he's like, yeah, and I'm not even afraid of being killed. Let's fucking go. Let's do it. I like it.
So then, here on the Wikipedia, I'm reading this off the Wikipedia in case anyone's curious, but it says, after he was allowed to see the axe that would be used to behead him, he mused, quote, this is a sharp medicine, but it is a physician for all diseases and miseries.
God.
This dude was a fucking Chad. I just can't help but, like, imagine him standing there with the fucking Giga Chad face. Like, they're about to fucking execute this guy, and he's like, yeah, bring it. Pussy. Yeah, he's like, do it, you won't, bitch. Like, fucking, what, you think I'm fucking afraid of pussy. some fucking whack-ass executioner with an axe? Yeah, fucking try again. Like, he's just shit-talking. He's shit-talking everyone at his own execution. Which is even fucking crazier. Like, I love it. And then there was something else that someone said. I'm trying to see if I can find it, but I don't. Oh yeah, and then there was another thing where it's like his body, like, they had buried it, but his head they had like exhumed and gave it to his wife. Like, just as a keepsake, like, here, you can have this, it's your husband. And it's just like his decapitated head. Yeah, basically just like as a, I don't know, as a coffee table discussion starter. Like, I don't know.
It really brings the room together.
Discussion started.
Yeah, this is here. Take this for
Mounts on the wall.
the feng shui of your living room. Like, it's a perfect coffee table accessory. It's just your husband's exhumed head, and then she lived for another like 30 years after that and never got rid of it. Like, she just had it in her house. So then they ended up burying, like, I think her with it. So that means this dude's body is buried in 2 different places. Like, the body doesn't have the head. Like, there's just a bunch of ridiculous fucking shenanigans this dude got up to that I had to, like, skip over because I wasn't sure where it fit in chronologically. Like, apparently this dude is, like, credited as one of the guys that made tobacco popular. Like, because he brought some back from Virginia and, like, just, I guess, marketed it super well. And that's the reason why people smoke tobacco. And I was trying to find more concrete information on that. And they pretty much just have, like, this initial story or letter or whatever from when it happened. And then I think a Beatles song where they're talking about smoking and Walter Raleigh. I was like, huh. That's strange. I think it was like John Lennon said some shit about it. And I was like, okay, it's not who I expected to see on this guy's Wikipedia page. Famous people.
In one of the songs?
I think so, yeah. I gotta try to look.
I don't remember anything about that.
Yeah, I'm not. Let me see if I can find that too, because that was really funny to me. It's like, that's also a fucking huge thing. Like, that alone could be something that he gets remembered for, but there's just too much. Fucking, what would I even Google? Like, oh, there you go. It's, I'm So Tired by the Beatles. Let's see, I'm reading. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the lyrics now. It's on Revolver. Yeah, I know.
It goes, I'm so tired. I'm feeling so upset. Although I'm so tired, I'll have another cigarette and curse Sir Walter Raleigh. He was such a stupid git.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I know that verse. I think I never knew what they were saying, though, for that line.
Yeah, no, that's because he's like, oh, I'll have a cigarette.
It's like slurred. Like, I can hear it in my head. It's just like very slurred.
Yeah.
Like, I still can't hear it knowing the lyrics.
Yeah, I'm sure if you listen to it after this, like, then you'll.
I'll try it.
Yeah, do that. Once we're done, listen to I'm So Tired. But, like, I was like, what the fuck? Why did that?
Yeah, I got that shit.
That's not who I was expecting to be talking about this dude next on the Wikipedia page, was like John Lennon. It's like, okay, interesting. All right. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Like, no, but this, I'll have to get back to it in maybe like a part 2 or something, because I didn't have enough time to really look fully into this dude. Yeah, because there was also a bunch of random shenanigans, like looking for El Dorado, just in the search for El Dorado alone, like regardless of whether Raleigh was there or not. It was funny. Like, I remember hearing this one story about these, I think it was conquistadors that were running around Mexico, I think, looking for it. And they were there pretty much only looking for gold. Like, they would straight up turn their nose up at silver. Like, they thought silver was, like, gross. They're like, no, gold only. Like, that's how focused on the gold they were. And apparently, like, while they were looking, they were digging in this area that they thought it might be, and they found a bunch of this really, like, shiny metal, and they're like, what the fuck is this? Oh, it's silver. And then they just, like, dumped it in a lake. It was like, fuck this, we don't need this. And they basically just threw it out. And then, like, people went and later found out that it was actually platinum, which is more valuable than gold.
Nice.
So it's like they found a bunch of actually even more rare shit than the things they were looking for that would be worth more. And they said, fuck this, and then threw it in a river. Dude, I think historically speaking, funnier things just happened more often back then. Like, with the rate that information traveled at, more funny things could happen before anyone would stop them.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, those guys could, like, if that happened now, you would have just Googled, like, what metal is this? Like, is this Is this platinum? Is this silver? Is this gold? What is this? Dude, okay, right now you would not be able to just go pretend to be looking for some survivors of a horrible catastrophe that you may or may not have contributed to. Meanwhile, you're off speculating on the fucking free market and looking for lost cities of gold. People would be like, bro, where the fuck are you? I can see you on Snap Map. What the fuck? You're not in Virginia? Yeah. The fuck is this about? That's why the internet. That's why we need to forget about the internet. Return to monkey. Just go back to fucking the old
Embrace
times
monkey.
when things were funny. Exactly. Back when things were fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't make them like they used to. Fucking Walter Raleigh. What a Chad, dude. What a giga Chad.
Men just aren't built like that anymore.
Exactly. I spent a solid like hour just looking into this dude. Like at 2 a.m. on the car ride back, having nothing to do with anything. And then I was reading, apparently some people were speculating like they wanted actually to sabotage Raleigh on one of the first trips. Now this part is like kind of just a theory, I think. I don't think they were able to substantiate this, but this is even funnier. Because it's like there were apparently people on his crew trying to sabotage him and make it so that he wouldn't be able to find the colonists. Fucking joke's on them. He wasn't even looking for the colonists. They're like, dude, I'm gonna undermine this dude. I'm gonna fucking sabotage this whole mission. We won't find any colonists. Meanwhile, Raleigh's like, colonists? Fuck are we why would I look for those? There's a city of gold to find. Oh no. So yeah, that's my little bit. I gotta find more historical figures like this.